You feel, you don't think different, you feel different. It does, it alters your posture,
Yes, absolutely.
everything, your pelvis realigns and all of that, which Stella talks about in the play as well, about how the nuts and bolts of your body change when you start to borrow bits of the wardrobe of the opposite sex. But also you suddenly find yourself at the bottom of the pile. Everyone can spit at you when you're dragged up. Certainly that was the case if you went on a bus in drag, as I did in the middle and late 80s in London, you were in danger. But at the same time, you feel untouchable. It did get me into trouble in the late 80s, at the height of homophobia and the AIDS crisis.
Yes.
I remember one particular occasion, and I think this experience is one of the things probably that drove me to write Stella, my play. It was 1986, and I'd worked on the first International AIDS Day in London. I was part of the office worker volunteer team, and there was a big party in the Hippodrome to celebrate the last night. And I was walking across Leicester Square in heels not unlike your own, not quite as vertiginous, and mine were from Brixton Market.
Fabulous.
Source of all large size shoes in those days. Nice patent leather, about 3-inch heel, and a little black backless dress, and my wig and my Susie makeup. And I got halfway across Leicester Square and there was this guy in my face. I didn't see him coming, and I remember it so vividly. He said to me, "Do you know what I'd like to do to you?" It was very sexual. And in my kind of best queen persona, I said, "No, but I'm sure you're about to tell me." And he said to me, "I would really like to kill you."
Right.
And I can remember keeping eye contact with him and at the same time getting my shoes off so that I could run if I needed to. That trick of balancing on one, picking up the which you know as well. And then actually realizing he was pissed off his head and I could just sidestep and carry on. And I made it to the Hippodrome shaking slightly, shoes back on, and I had a fabulous night. And I think that's one of my connections with Stella is I'm not Stella. I couldn't pass in a million years, and I never wanted to. But that sense of the body in peril, but also the body is a source of incredible power.
Yes. I used to do the door here, dressed like this. And so, you know, we'd have like groups of men trying to get in. And, you know, being dressed like this also, you know, you can also kind of flip it a little bit and start acting like I'm completely mad. I'm in this. I really don't care what you're going to do to me. Because I'm going to do it straight back to you. And what are we going to get out of this? Nothing but blood everywhere. Is that what you want? Fine, bring it on. I'm going to get you. You know, and you can do that in this, which I wouldn't normally do. I would not have the power to do that. But, you know, I've had people try to push me downstairs and everything, come back at them. It's like, what do you think you're doing? How's this going to end? What, the police are going to come? You're going to go to jail? Why are you going to do that? You're an idiot. What are you doing? So you have to come back with it as well. And there's a power about it that I use to flip on things, especially when I'm doing doors and things like that as well. It's like never about it. I don't want to say the word victim, but it's never about it. You know, it's realizing what you have, I think, and realizing how powerful that is and using it in like a really great way. Because it is very easy to kind of slump on your heels and then people are going to get you. And I mean, that's the other thing. It's, I suppose as friends of mine say, it's a performance. As soon as you've got the heels and this on, you're performing and you become something slightly different to who you normally are as well. And I mean, for me, doing the door for like 2 or 3 years, that really helped me.
Yeah.
Nobody got past. Nobody didn't pay. If I had to chase them down the street, I would. And people get scared of that.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to. And I mean, I suppose the other thing is that when we first started here, there wasn't that many spaces open. So we also had to mark ourselves. And it's like, you know, because when we first opened, it's like, you've not got any security. The mafia are going to get you. The Turkish mafia, the East End mafia, they're all going to come and get you. they're going to take all your money, they're going to shut you down, and they'll put you in, you know, it's going, you're going to be in a hospital. And it's like, no, they're not.
No.
No way. Because I think it's that sort of thing about if you have the authenticity with what you're doing and the reason that you're doing it, then people in the end respect it as well.
One of the conundrums of the piece for me, which I'm still making, so I don't know how it's going to work out on stage. One of the most fascinating facts about Stella, she died in hospital, and therefore we can be sure that she died dressed as a man, because it's inconceivable that she could have gone in her female persona to the hospital at the end of her life. And I'm fascinated by trying to get inside the imagination of someone who, having lived through all the sensations that you're describing, the power, the excitement, the glamour, then in the last week of her life, she's a quite elderly, not well off guy in a suit. And that was one of the starting points of writing the piece, is how can that final transformation of her life, what must that have been like for her? And that's been quite something to try and
coming
imagine.
to terms with that as well, that you've lived this life, and what does it mean for you to be at the end of your life, and you have to come to terms with all these sorts of things.
And
as
it's not all about being as I was. It's not all about being some flaming young thing in a pair of high heels in Leicester Square. It's also about what happens to your body at 3 o'clock in the morning.